Hey guys, what's up? It is me, the Wild West Gamer, here, sat in the gaming grotto, doing a demo impression of Fuse. Yes, Fuse, the new Insomniac game that is shortly to be released. They've brought out the demo, came out a couple of days ago. I downloaded it, finally played it about half an hour ago. And you guys may remember that I did a video about my sort of first impressions of it. Just watching the preview trailer to it, sort of the gameplay footage with one of the developers, and I was really not keen on it. I was really unsure about it. I was like, what's Insomniac doing? Is this really what they're following up Resistance with? All that sort of stuff. But you've always got your first opinions when you see something, and then when you play it, sometimes that changes. And I actually did think between doing that video and this one that, you know what, if this game is really good, then hey, that's cool, right? Perhaps they just need to get better people to do some preview footage for them, because the guy who did it really didn't make it seem that great. But yeah, and I was thinking, I'm gonna have to eat my own words here. I'm really gonna have to suck it up and admit I was wrong. So download the demo, played it. Yeah, I am wrong. This game sucks. This game is terrible. Is it broken? Are the gameplay mechanics bad? No, not at all. No, it works fine. Control is fairly easy. The graphics look fairly good, not groundbreaking, but look fairly good. There's a wide variety of locations from the end trailer to the demo, and so on and so forth. There's a neat concept sort of behind it and all that, but it's just bland. It is so fucking bland. This game is unbelievable. From a company that, for me, seems to innovate between every single thing they did. From Ratchet and Clank to Resistance, you couldn't get more different. I really thought whatever they did next would be, fantastic. But this game just sucks. This game is so fucking boring. It is unbelievable. It's gimmicky. It's cliched. It's so just boring. It really is. It's boring to play. The demo lets you play as any of the four characters through a mission set in a base in the mountains. And it sort of gives you a little bit of a sense of the platforming of it, sort of the climbing stuff, climbing up, but that feels very structured and rigid. You're literally just following, this predetermined path up the cliff. You're never in any real danger. It's not like there's anything interesting happens. Then you get up, to this ledge, and then the level properly starts with you moving quickly out of this sort of slight overhang on this cliff where there's some trees into the secret base, and then you start blasting. That's it. Depending upon which of the characters you play, you may be able to implement some of the stealth abilities in the game, but that is simply just cloaking, and that's fucking boring. It's not interesting. It takes no skill. If you can fucking cloak, that's not really a stealth mechanic. That's just you going invisible. No one can see your ass then. It's not like Splinter Cell sort of, sneaky hidey. No, this is just fucking you turn invisible and then you go through and start blasting it, fools in the face. The big thing about this game is Fuse, this alien substance. I'm assuming it's pulled from the wreckage of the Roswell incident. I mean, the game seems to be rather loose with where this stuff has come from, but it says there was an event in the early 20th century. I'm assuming it means the Roswell incident, and this fuse element or material, energy, or whatever it is found there, and it is harnessed eventually and used to create weapons. And that's what this game is about. Each one of the characters, this squad of 4, has a particular weapon that they can use, which is infused with Fuse. The Dalton, the big tank leader soldier guy, he has this fucking shield gun, which is shit, which you can either create a movable shield, or you can stick a shield to the ground as a fixed position, or you can, as you go forward, you can use it to send out the shockwave to knock people back. It's crap, it's rubbish, it sucks. I was using it, I was still getting hit. it was ridiculous. I was walking forward. I swear to God, I was walking forward, and I was still getting hit. I was like, "The fuck is the point in a shield if it doesn't?" And like when you have to be literally right next to the enemy to use the shockwave ability. I kid you not. I was standing a good, 5 meters away from an enemy. I thought, this is close enough. This has got to be. Use the shockwave, nothing happens unless the game just didn't register it. In which case, that's pretty poor. That sucks. So yeah, that his whole shield is called the mag shield. Sucks. The next guy, he's a black dude. I don't remember him. He used to be a cop. He has a crossbow, and you can it's a long range weapon. Crossbows always suck. I hate crossbows. Not in like fantasy or RPG games. They're cool then, good old fashioned wooden crossbows. In sci-fi though, sort of like a tech crossbow, like a sci-fi game, it's just fucking boring. It looks stupid. It's like you've got all these people running around with fucking automatic weapons, and this guy's here going, "Yeah, that's right, I brought this to the firefight." It's like, "Way cool, awesome, go you fucking idiot." You fire this thing, and I swear to God, you can line up your crosshairs perfectly, and your shots still fly by a couple inches to the left, and this pisses you off because it ruins any point of being the long range guy because it leaves a big old fucking contrail behind it, big old red line, so they know where you are. As soon as you fire this thing, they know where you are. So yeah, you fire this shot, it misses completely and you blind it up beautifully, so it should hit, full on headshot. Misses completely, and they all start opening up on you. If you land a shot, you can use the special ability for it, it will then ignite the enemy and fire, but fucking if you score, if you're the sniper dude, the weapon should score you a direct headshot. That should be it. That should be a kill. I've got numerous headshots in this demo. Not one of them was a downer, not an immediate kill. I was like, sorry, hang on, what world is this where people can take, and they're normal human soldiers you're fighting, yeah, apparently they can take a crossbow bolt to the head, and it's fine. It needs to be set on fire for it to actually be lethal. Then you've got the two women in it. Excuse me. One of them I mentioned earlier was the stealth one. It's just going invisible. Ooh, exciting. She has got a singularity gun. It's like an SMG. It fires these rounds, and as they charge up, they create mini black holes. And you can, if you get enemies close enough, it will sort of do like a chain effect and create this massive singularity. That's quite cool, actually. To be fair, I found myself using this gun the most because it was of all of them, the most outright lethal. You fill someone full of these rounds, and then all of a sudden this massive singularity wipes out a whole load of guys. And seeing as the guys seem to cluster together in groups of 4 most of the time, it was pretty effective, and that was really good fun actually to watch these guys go flying apart, be sucked into this vacuum. Don't get me wrong, it's not overly awesome. It's not nearly as cool as it should be because it's, for some reason, the effect for it just looks crap. Which ruins the whole sort of, I've just created a fucking black hole, so yeah, that pissed me off. Finally I find a weapon that's good and it sucks. And then the last one is this again is another woman. She's got a gun that, and again another machine gun, another automatic one, and that fires these rounds which crystallize after enough rounds are fired, causes the people to be sort of consumed by this big old sort of crystal construct around them, and they're sort of hung up in the air. And then what you can do is you can quickly switch to another weapon and fill them full of lead, and they break. And again, that's kind of useful. I mean, this is it. That is kind of useful. The black hole gun and the crystal gun, pretty useful. Yeah, I can see how they will be good. But only in a situation where you work as a team. And this is, again, another point about this demo. The game is intended to play cooperatively. 4-player co-op. Each person, takes over a player in the team. If your game relies quite heavily on, cooperative play, you can be damn sure the AI is going to suck ass. And it does in this game. It's awful. I've been downed and been sat, and you have a very short timer for when you're downed, for someone to pick you up. I've been sat next to someone and they have waited for the last 3 seconds to decide to try and pick me up, and of course their animation takes enough time that then I actually die. So I'm just like, the fuck. A lot of enemies require, especially even just taking on the average soldiers, require them to lay down quite a lot of fire or use their specialized fuse weapons to help you. Some of the soldiers appear to be able to heal their guys constantly, and it's a fucking quick regeneration. Like, you are filling them full of lead, you stop for even a second, their health bar is back up again. They are fucking quick. And the thing is, if you're the only guy laying down fire, it's like you're never going to beat this guy. It takes a combined effort from the entire team pumping this guy full of lead to stop him. Doesn't happen. So I found within the first 10 minutes of gameplay in this demo, me just being sat there going, this is so fucking boring, just pumping people full of bullets and nothing happening. That is just really sucky. I hate that in games. Any game, like in Gears of War, that had a heavy reliance on co-op. It was intended to be played cooperatively, but if you didn't have a friend around to play it, or if you just didn't want to play it with anyone, you wanted to focus in on the story, you could play it fairly well by just yourself. The guys didn't get stuck. They helped you out. They laid down enough fire. It was good fun. This game doesn't do that with three other AI teammates running around. There is still not enough intelligence in any of them to know when to push up, when to attack, when to cover, when to flank, anything like that. They simply stand behind you, dig in, and fire off pot shots. That's not good enough, especially when the game relies on them using their special abilities. When you are in the team, you select who you want to start the game with, the level with, but you can switch between the teammates. If you're playing single player, you can switch between them, which is, to be fair, a nice idea. Hot swapping like that's cool. So it means that if there's a certain situation that the AI is too dumb to do itself, you can at least do it. I guess that was something they shoehorned in when they realised the AI was so shit. They needed you to be able to take control of everyone, so you could baby feed your entire team, which again sucks. I have no idea. Either make the game single, just you going through the game, and then stick co-op in as an actual multiplayer element to it. Don't make it so even at the main menu you've got there three spaces for your friends to join in. You shouldn't make a game that is about team-based combat if the AI is not up to it. You just shouldn't. And this is again what's annoying me. The fact that this is Insomniac who've done this pisses me off. These guys are of real quality. I mean, this game has got some help from EA, who, hey, how EA like to stick their nose into stuff where they're not wanted. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that whatever they did, whatever EA wanted to be done with this game, probably has not helped, if I'm honest with you. I'm not a big fan of EA when they start sticking their noses into stuff, and I'm pretty sure this game has suffered for it. Apart from the fuse weaponry, you do have conventional weapons, so machine guns, SMGs, shotguns, pistols, etc., and grenades and stuff like that. But they just feel so weak. And I'm telling you now, nothing ruins a game even more than having shittier AI and team-based combat than having piss poor weapons. Yeah, I really mean it. These guns do not feel good to use. They don't feel meaty. They don't feel useful. They just feel they feel like filler. That's it. Like, the fuse guns simply aren't gimmick. The gimmick quickly runs out. You're like, oh, cool, okay, that fires a black hole. All right, cool. It's pretty shit. So I'm gonna just go back to a machine gun. The guns feel like they were just slipped in to sort of make up for this, but not enough time has been spent on them, so they feel poor. I mean, the sound effects are all there for when you're reloading them and all this, nice clicks and metal sort of, metalwork of, magazines sliding in, stuff like that. That's cool, nice shotgun pump and all that. Cool. But the problem is, if the gun doesn't feel good to fire, your shooter's going to really suffer. That is sort of this is what annoys me nowadays. It goes all the way from Call of Duty through Battlefield to this one. Games need to have good shooting, and I'm not being funny, but a lot of these games, especially Call of Duty, I don't understand how it's so popular. The guns are just not fun to fire. Far Cry 3 has some fucking excellent guns to fire. Everything in that game feels fun. They feel meaty, they feel weighty, they feel responsive, they feel like they've got recoil. They do have recoil, that's what's fun. Killzone 2, Killzone 3 have, again, very fun guns to fire. You know, if you're going to make a shooter, if you're going to make a first-person game with guns, make the shooting fun. I want to feel like when I fire that trigger, my arm's going to be wrenched out of its socket by this thing. Don't do it, just half-assed. That sucks. It ruins a game. And that's the thing. The most powerful sounding weapon in this game is a pistol. A fucking pistol. Yeah? I was running around with this little, 45 or whatever the hell it's supposed to be, this like Spec Ops version of it, firing off caps, going, this thing sounds like a freaking hand cannon. Yeah, when I swapped my like SMG or my, machine gun, it just sounds, it's like, no, that's wrong. You get like a little burst rifle as well. That's kind of all right. The shotgun, in all fairness, is kind of fun to use, but guns in this Reaver, too weak or too powerful. So there's never this middle ground. I mean, the shotgun, you literally will go through it, just wiping people out. It's like literally one shot and they fly back. And that's the thing, moves on to the next thing. Enemies in this game are so boring. They're generic for a start. They look like any other sci-fi villain. Sorry, I'm just dipped out of the screen there. They look like any other sci-fi villain. They really do. Faces covers, some sort of sci-fi body armor. That's that. I think I heard them shouting stuff to each other, but again, that's just the other cliche sort of, they're moving up, they're coming around here, it's like lay down fire, whatever, all that boring shit. Nothing to really give them any personality or anything interesting. And then, of course, the thing is that, once you get past these guys, these ordinary foot soldiers, you get these things called leadfoots, which are like these mech warriors. Now, again, this is the problem, and this is where all of the problems in the game are, completely, shone on by a massive fucking spotlight. Here's a situation where you've got two incredibly powerful mini-bosses. One's got a flamethrower, the other one's got a minigun, and they can shoot grenades and drones out, which fire at you as well, and all sorts of shit like this. This part, the moments like this require absolute teamwork, and I can't stress that enough. Absolute teamwork. You need the guy with the shield gun laying down fixed points for you to hide behind, or covering you in front. You need the chick who's got like this med drop to keep dropping those to keep people healthed up. You need the guy who's got the crossbow to be laying down fire from the back, and maximizing the flame damage on his gun. And you need the chick who's got the crystalline gun to be trying to keep these guys from moving around too much. The thing is, though, it never happens. The AI in this game is dumb as fuck. It just doesn't need... Like, half the characters you've got genuinely decent fuse guns, don't fucking use them. They're pulling out SMGs and shotguns. It's like, no, now is not... You've had fucking forever to use this shit on all the foot soldiers back there. But instead you wasted all your fucking fuse guns on it. Now we're fighting these two giant-ass mech things. You're dicking around with fucking, pistols and that. It's like, who programmed this game? Who sat there and went, I think it would be a lot more fun if your enemy, your allies, tried to get you killed. They're too dumb to do anything themselves. As soon as they don't take up strategic points, they simply just run around blasting it. And of course, the thing is, the enemy AI then goes, right, well, if they're moving around, I'm going to go for you, the guy trying to take tactical cover, and reload or, get some health back. And that then just makes it incredibly fucking difficult to do anything. You just, instead of being able to actually reload, you've just got to keep swapping between weapons. And an ammo doesn't do nearly enough. I mean, I emptied all three of my guns, both the fuse weapon, a pistol, and a machine gun into them. Did nothing, absolutely nothing. And it was just really underwhelming, actually. It was really, really boring. Afterwards, each one of them dropped a heavy weapon, which you could carry around. But as soon as you get to the next loading screen, your character drops it, and you can't use it anymore. Which, again, was just like, Great. So all I've got is some crappy XP to upgrade my fuse guns, which aren't even that fun to use in the first place. There's no payoff. There's absolutely no payoff in this game. You don't get to pilot the mech. You don't get to kill the pilot and jump in. You don't get to use their heavy weapons. You don't get to do anything. It is, what Fuse is just for me is just a sign that Insomniac have clearly lost their way. Really have. It'll be interesting. This is mine. It's just my impressions of the demo. But to be fair with you, I can't see how the game's going to be much better. I mean, there's so many problems with this game, and it's not the fact that it's actually a broken game, like I've stated. It's just that it's so bland. It's been done before, and what annoys me is this is people who created Ratchet and Clank. This is the people who created the Resistance universe. Why fucking give up Resistance, you fucking idiots? Why? Why stop doing it? You were onto such a winner with Resistance 3. It was getting so fucking good, but no, you crammed that shitty ending in the end there of, all the terraformers being wiped out, which closes the portal to the Chimeran homeworld. That's it. Everyone returns back to normal life. Like, remember those monsters trying to commit genocide on the human race? Yeah, that was fucking crazy. That was it. End of game. Then we get some shitty PS Vita, tie-ins crammed in there a couple, a year or two later. That's not what I wanted. I wanted Insomniac to just get their ass in gear and bring me more Resistance games. All right, yeah, say what you will. Perhaps it will start becoming them just milking the series. But you know what? I think in all fairness, you would probably more have a situation like Halo, where you had, Halo went through 1, 2, and 3. You had Reach, and then you had ODST. Then the guys left it. They said we've done this now. Bungie went off and did their own thing, and then 343 Industries picked up where they left off and created Halo 4, and that is fantastic as well. It feels like Halo, but it feels like something new, and it is continued. Insomniac could have done that. Resistance was moving away from this sort of very early next-gen sort of looking game, sort of quite plasticky faces, a lot of shine on the skin, really sort of very early next-gen game, which looked like it really shows its age today. But they went then through to Resistance 2, started getting bigger, started getting more sort of getting their finger more on the pulse of what people wanted. It became more of a traditional shooter. Then they took the best of number 1, the best of number 2, and then added in their own stuff and created Resistance 3, which was fantastic. It couldn't be more different from number 1 and number 2. And it absolutely brilliant. It felt like it was set in a real world. It was fantastic level design, fantastic enemy design, great weapons, fun upgrading system, great story, very heartfelt, very emotional. It was incredible. Resistance 3 is one of my favorite games on PlayStation 3, probably in my top 3 of favorite games for this console, as well as of this generation. A real standout for me, and I really thought, wow, Resistance 4 is going to be fantastic, absolutely brilliant. If Insomniac can capitalize on what they do with Resistance 3 and make that in Resistance 4, wow, and we're finally going to get the story really progressing in a really interesting way. No, they'd much rather work on shit like this. Generic, cliched, dime a dozen done before third-person shooters with samey characters, boring locations, crappy story. There is no story. Terrorist organization or some break off of the US military want to steal some fucking alien technology so they can create weapons to sell to other people, but it will probably cause the end of the world. Fucking a non-thought out story about shit that really would never happen, about crap that isn't believable. And they've shoehorned in some gimmicky weapons. There is no, and also, this is what annoys me. When you come from characters like Nathan Hale, from Joseph Capelli, from Ratchet, from Clank, from Quark, when you come from characters like, when you've had enemies like the Multitude that were in, Ratchet and Clank series, and the Chimera, and the Cloven in the Resistance series, when you come from 2 incredible universes, the entire Ratchet and Clank universe, the entire, Resistance universe, set in this fantastically, created alternate, history set, post World War One through to the 1960s of what would happen to Earth if an alien invasion, happened, and very terrifying as well, and Ratchet and Clank very funny as well as just action packed. This running theme for all of Insomniac's games of making really fun weapons to use. Some ridiculous weapons in Ratchet and Clank, as well as some freaking awesome guns in Resistance. This feels like they've tried to do that again, try to make fun weapons, but they haven't. They haven't. They've given me instead of giving me a massive selection of guns, which I can then customize. They've given me four. Well, I say four, 3 guns and a fucking shield. Ooh, exciting. The upgrades feel like they do nothing. I spent the game gives you at the beginning of the demo 2 experience points. I took the guy's crossbow because I knew that was going to be probably the shittest gun, and I upgraded his ammo capacity. Well, seeing as it takes like fucking 5 or 6 bolts to kill a guy in the first place, there's barely any fucking point in me having bothered to do that at all, because I mean I might as well have just been using the shittiest, the smallest magazine the gun came with. It took so long, and I found most of the time I was just switching to conventional weapons to do anything. That is my point. This game, it feels like the mechanics fail it more often than not. They're just stupid. Characters, for all their, for the way they move, yes, the movement's not awful, but at the same time, it's not fun. They do feel a bit sluggish. They do feel a bit heavy. Bringing up your iron sights is a little bit slow. Like I said, getting into cover doesn't feel quite as smooth as a lot of other games. I didn't get told how to crouch. I have no idea how I crouch in that game, so any idea for an actual stealth mechanic becomes completely lost if you can't fucking crouch. Excuse me. Yeah, just it really. Really, that's it. Also, with weapons like this, you would think there'd be loads of sort of environmental damage. There's really not. The one thing that I was actually quite liked, was when you shot some bulletproof glass. The way it broke, it did actually look quite like glass. That's it. That's the positive thing I have to say. That the sort of textural effect for some broken glass looked good. The rest of it's boring. Done before. Not. I'm not buying this game ever. Really, I am not. I'm so let down by this. Insomniac. You were one of my favourite developers, and yet you've brought out this. I'm hoping that this demo, again, is just a poor example of the finished product, and the final one is absolutely fantastic. But no. And what pisses me off is that this menu looks really cool, actually, as well as all of the sort of these energy effects as the game starts up on like EA on the Insomniac titles. There's this great sort of it's the fuse effect all going around it. That looks really cool. And which worries me is probably they spent more time dicking around with that than they did making the actual fucking game. So guys, I'm the Wild West Gamer, bringing you this demo impression of Fuse. Download it, but for the love of God, don't delete anything off your hard drive to download this. Yeah, trust me, whatever you've got on your hard drives, on your PlayStation 3s or whatever, is definitely going to be worth keeping hold of more than this piece of shit. But if you've got the space, have a look, have a play, see what you think. If you disagree, write in the comments box, what your experience was, and tell me why you think I'm wrong, and perhaps I'll come back to it and try and look at it, again in a different light. But I really don't think so. So yeah, there you have it, guys. I was the Wild West Gamer. I am the Wild West Gamer. Bringing you this demo impression of Fuse. Check it out, see what you think. Until then, guys, I will be probably doing some more stuff, I expect, later on today. If not, we'll see. I'll see you when I see you. Yeah, I'll see you when I see you. So have fun, guys. Play games, watch films, read comics. Be awesome. See you later, guys.